Debate day. It's finally that time. President Barack Obama and Governor Mitt Romney will square off for the first time and what this debate means for both sides.
Kid Curiosity, a new Utah County Museum's groundbreaking, is breaking ground in imagination. What the new building will do for the growing area.
Rescue fallout. The Provo Canyon jumper is still recovering, and the people who found him are still waiting and worrying. We have their first-hand account. I'm Ashley Munguia.
And I'm Jen Jacobson. It's Wednesday, October 3rd, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
It's a big milestone in the election season. Tonight, the first of 3 presidential debates will take place in Denver. 11 News reporter Alexis Flake is at Denver University, where candidates are trying to win you over.
Presidential debates are historical events.
There you go again.
And tonight, Mitt Romney and Barack Obama go head-to-head at the University of Denver for a chance to make history as well. Obama spent Tuesday near Las Vegas, while Romney spent the day prepping, stumping, and grabbing a snack in Denver. Mitt Romney's wife, Ann, is feeling confident about tonight.
We have a debate coming up, and we are excited about that. We're focused, and I can't wait for the contrast that we're going to hear tomorrow.
But the First Lady says she's feeling the anxiousness of a mother watching her child.
I get so nervous at these debates, and I'm like one of those parents watching their kid on the balance beam. You're just standing there, just trying not to have any expression at all.
Tonight's debate is centered on domestic issues. The candidates will not know specific questions ahead of time, but they will know the topics. 4 questions on the economy and 2 on the government's role in daily life. Debates don't typically sway voters from one side of the aisle to the other, but the undecided vote is the prize here. Early voting has already started in Iowa and Ohio, but if Romney does well tonight, he could still bring the race back into a dead heat. In Denver, Alexis Flake, 11 News.
At 6:45, we'll start revving up for the debates, which will officially begin at 7 o'clock. Tune in right here to KBYU 11 News for your front row seat. And Alexis will have a wrap-up and analysis tomorrow from Denver at noon.
A Border Patrol agent born and raised in Provo was killed. 30-year-old Nicholas Ivy was shot to death near the Mexican border in Arizona. Ivy and another agent were responding to a security sensor in the desert when shots broke out. Border Patrol say they aren't arresting anyone at this point, but they did say they believe multiple shots were fired at these agents. Workers broke ground for a new children's museum at Thanksgiving Point. 11 News reporter Eliza Bishop went to Lehigh to find out what this means for the community.
Anticipation is in the air for the new attraction, and visitors are looking forward to the coming exhibits. Thanksgiving Point is a popular venue to visit for Lehigh homeowners Derek and Joe Smith.
Been here twice over the last 2 days.
From the dinosaur museum to the farm, the Smiths say there's a lot to do.
We've been to Corn Bellies a couple times, taking him to get pumpkins for his first Halloween.
Workers have started construction for the 45,000 square foot museum.
What makes the Museum of Natural Curiosity so great, in addition to providing more things for people to do here at Thanksgiving Point, it creates a place for young families to come and reconnect with the world through active play.
The $23.4 million collected is funding the project, although they still need another $3.6 million. Donors, charitable foundations, and tourism taxes are the main sources of funding for the project. Johnston says besides providing 150 new hands-on exhibits, the museum will also offer more job opportunities.
With the new museum, we expect over 300,000 more people to come visit, which would obviously up our economic area here.
The Smith family says that these types of museums are what make a difference in learning for children.
Walking through and seeing all the big stuff.
Exactly.
Makes it fun.
Seeing is better. Being interactive is better. Helps you learn more.
And he likes it.
Johnston says they hope to have the museum open for the public in spring of 2014. Ashley?
Curtis Allgaier is pleading guilty in his case. Police say Allgaier killed a Utah corrections officer in 2007. After years of fighting his charges with appeals, Allgaier unexpectedly entered a plea deal. He is on trial for shooting the officer during a failed prison break. A judge sentenced an Orem man to life in prison for his role in a murder-for-hire drug scheme. Police say 32-year-old Yuri Sanchez Lara hired 2 hitmen to go after a man. Officials say they believe Lara thought the man was an informant working for the city police. They found the man shot and killed last May.
A base jumper survived a deadly fall in the Provo Canyon. 11 News reporter Ashley Hudson met with the persistent 12-year-old girl who noticed his initial jump.
He's just dangling on the cliff. He didn't have any footholds, no handholds, and the ropes were just pulling on his legs.
The Osborns were coming home from a family activity in Sundance when their daughter Lauren suddenly shouted for her parents to pull over.
I saw him, and then we were just about to turn the corner, and he just whacks into the cliff.
The jumper fell over 300 feet before the parachute got snagged on the cliff, suspending him over the floor of the canyon.
Osborn and his son talked with base jumper Adam Garner while he hung in the Provo Canyon waiting for the Utah County Search and Rescue Team.
Talk a little bit, and then he'd go, "Could you talk with me some more? Could you tell me another story?" He was just needed to connect. I mean, he was just there all alone, hanging out on this cliff, you know, cold and bleeding and hurt, and didn't know if he was going to fall at any given minute.
The rescue team secured Garner with another rope to lower him from dangling 150 feet off the ground after he was suspended in the air for over 4 hours.
This was just crazy out there, and even the search and rescue most of those guys had hardly seen anything so technical and so difficult.
Lauren says she's proud she kept persisting with her parents, pulling over and calling the police.
It was meant for me to be looking out that window, you know. Could have been watching a movie in the car or whatever, but if I hadn't been looking out that window, then it wouldn't have happened.
Warren awaits word on Gardner's recovery as the jumper remains in the Utah Valley Medical Center, recovering from serious conditions and a possible broken ankle. I'm just so glad that Lauren saw him and convinced her parents to pull him over.
Definitely.
Yeah.
When 11 News at noon returns. Exercise appetite. A new BYU study shows how to cut down on trips to the fridge. What do you need to do to keep your cravings at bay?
Fish Finders. Strawberry Reservoir is tempting fishermen with some big prizes. What you could find with your next catch. Stay with us.
Utah has a bad case of whooping cough. The state health department says the illness is hitting pre-vaccine levels as they already found over 800 cases this year. Doctors say the illness is worse for children younger than a year old because they can't get immunizations. According to state records, it's the worst year for whooping cough in Utah since 1946. Many people think you can't work up an appetite from an intense workout, but as 11 News reporter Lilianne Cano shows us, new research at BYU found that isn't always true.
A study done by 2 BYU professors shows that a 45-minute workout in the morning can reduce the motivation for food.
What we concluded was that your brain's food motivation, your motivation to eat, your motivation to attend to food, is less after an acute bout of exercise. So in the short term, right after you exercise, your brain's not as motivated for the food.
With the help of 35 women, the professors measured brain activity while the women viewed food images after they exercised in the morning, and also when they did not do exercise.
It's called EEG, and we're measuring the electrical activity of the brain. And so then when we showed the food pictures, the brain's electrical activity synchronizes around the picture, and then you either can look at the strength of the response or how long it takes them to respond. And so we were looking specifically at the strength of the response.
Women think that not only does working out in the morning reduce their motivation for food, but it also changes their thought process throughout the day.
Well, if I work out in the morning, then when I'm constantly making my health choices during the day and deciding, oh, I want to eat that, or do I want to eat this, I'm like, oh, I worked out this morning, so I burned off all those calories. I don't want to consume all those calories again.
One thing that the professors say they still need to determine is how long the diminished food motivation will last after they work out. In Provo, Lilianne Cano, 11 News.
The professors say that food motivation and weight loss are so complex and that this study just shows one factor when it comes to influencing how people think of food.
Green, yellow, orange, red, all fall colors are gradually making their way down the Wasatch Mountains. But have you ever wondered what causes this vibrant transformation? BYU ecology professor Sam St. Clair explains the science behind the season.
The plant has an internal clock that tells it when it should be doing things, so it can anticipate when changes occur. The plant senses day length, and it knows when October is coming based on shorter days. For me, that's just one of the really fascinating things about plants.
This internal clock triggers a process called senescence. Leaf pigments dissolve one on top of another, revealing the next layer underneath. The Utah Forest Service predicts trees will start changing color and dropping leaves in the next week or two. Temperatures dropping outside means fishing season is drawing to a close. But 11 News reporter Clark Gerber says fishermen might be able to score some quick cash before winter.
Strawberry Reservoir is hosting a fishing contest through October 15th, and one fish in the lake is worth $25,000. I spoke with the organizer of the contest, and he says there are plenty more chances to win. There are about 200 specially tagged fish left in the lake. They say if you teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. But if you teach a man to fish at Strawberry Reservoir, you might leave his wallet feeling a lot heavier.
The first thoughts are always, what are your realistic chances of catching one? And then people start catching them and you hear about them and it's kind of fun.
Strawberry Bay Marina released 300 specially tagged fish into the lake this summer. So far, fishermen have caught around 80 winners. Kurt Porritt is a regular at Strawberry and catches dozens of fish every day he's on the water.
I'm here probably twice a week, average all summer long. And it's really good fishing. Strawberry is probably the best in Utah, in my opinion.
Officials say Strawberry Reservoir is home to millions and millions of fish, so your chances of catching a tagged trout are better than 1 in a million, but not good. Time is running out for fishermen because tagged fish caught after the October 15th deadline will not be eligible for the prize. Still, area manager Glenn Hafen says results so far this year are encouraging enough to warrant an encore in 2013.
It's been a very big success. We've had a tremendous response and people really seem to enjoy it, and I've already put an application in and I've got verbal approval for an application for next year.
You can track the progress of the contest on Strawberry Reservoir's Facebook page, and that $25,000 fish, he's still at large. Jen and Ashley?
$25,000, that's a ton of money. I think that's definitely worth trying our luck out in the
I hope
lake.
so. Angela, what do you think? Do we have some good fishing weather coming up?
I say let's go fishing, but you're going to have to bundle up. I'll tell you when, with your 11 weather when we return. Good morning. It's a great fall afternoon. You can see the skies are blue and clear, but it is a lot colder today. The temperatures currently are pretty cold, 59 degrees with only 44% humidity and a wind speed of 5 miles per hour. But throughout the day, that is going to speed up quite a bit. We're going to see some really heavy winds. Throughout the day, it's going to be around 15 to 20 miles per hour. So the weather's cold, and it's going to feel even colder with all that wind that's coming in. What we can expect tonight, it will be a lot cooler than usual. A low of 41 degrees. Folks, that's cool. That's cool weather. We're definitely getting into that fall cold weather. Time to bring out those scarves, those boots. It's kind of exciting. We're going to see some clear skies tonight, and sunset comes in at 7:06. The days are getting shorter. That's right. We can take a look at, we've got a map of this, we got the outlook for today. We already talked about that, 15 to 20 miles per hour with clear skies. It's just going to be a cold day. We can take a look at the satellite map. We've got some clouds right up here. If you can see right where this is, this cloud system, there's a storm coming in through, not going to hit Utah, just right above the state, and it's going to bring in a lot of really, really cold air. So throughout the state, the temperatures are going to be significantly cooler. If we take a look at what's going on throughout the entire state, our highs for today are they're not too bad. I mean, they're pretty cold, but still, I mean, not freezing. We've got 77 in Nephi, 73 in Provo, up in Logan 66, pretty cold out there, and then it just gets a lot warmer as we go down to St. George, which is pretty typical for this time of year. If we take a closer look at St. George, southern Utah, what's going to happen is we've got these 90-degree weather for St. George, and then it's just going to get quite a bit cooler throughout the rest of the week. 81, 80 on Sunday. Temperatures are just getting a lot cooler. If we take a closer look at what's going to go on in northern Utah, we're going to see kind of the same trend. 72 today, 69. It's just going to get a lot cooler. So when we go and cheer for our Cougars this weekend, it's going to be cold. It's going to be good weather for hot chocolate.
Yeah,
I love
even
hot
though it's
chocolate.
getting a little bit colder, it's exciting for the holidays.
Yeah,
exactly.
To come up. Yeah, thanks,
feeling it.
Angela.
You're
Thanks.
welcome.
Well, the days are getting shorter and ending a little sooner, and also the women's volleyball winning streak. Is that right, Ben?
Yep, they lost their first game this weekend as they've gone their long road trip to California in the W West Coast Conference. Coming up next on sports, the women's volleyball team tasted defeat with its first loss coming to St. Mary's. Learn about the team's mindset as they prepare for the next foe. And one baseball player got a second chance at his dream. Find out how he did when we come back. Sports is next. Stay tuned. After suffering their first loss against St. Mary's, BYU women's volleyball is forced to reevaluate their game. 11 Sports reporter Christine Wallach has the team's reaction to this first defeat.
St. Mary's is a tough team to play. The Gales' starting attackers all had kills in the double digits during that game, and BYU just wasn't able to make a play. Even BYU's Jennifer Hampson had 16 kills, but it still left the team short of a win.
After winning 15 straight games, BYU volleyball experienced their first loss of the season. The team played on St. Mary's home court and lost the match in 4 sets.
After looking at film and stuff from that game, we figured out that we just didn't really play the way we have been playing.
After the break between the second and third sets, the Cougs came back to win the third, 25-19. But even that was not enough.
They played a good game plan against us, and they took us out of our game, and so I think that was the first time we've really, struggled playing our game well.
The loss cost the team more than its winning streak. The Cougars dropped from a national ranking of 11 to 16. Fortunately, BYU volleyball isn't letting it affect their attitude.
We're trying to fight through it and hopefully, bring the fire back and be ready for Loyola.
The Cougars head to Los Angeles for their next game against the Loyola Marymount Lions tomorrow.
They beat St. Mary's in 3, so they're a really, really good team. So I think we're just trying to learn from what we didn't do in the St. Mary's match and try to apply that in this next game.
BYU volleyball goes into this next game with hopes to pick up their winning streak and continue defeating opponents.
Although Loyola Marymount is not ranked in the top 25, the women's volleyball team can't underestimate their opponent tomorrow. Ben?
Thanks, Christine. Another American League West contenders, Oakland and Texas, faced off in Oakland Tuesday as the baseball season comes to a conclusion. Josh Hamilton doubled in the second to score Ian Kinsler, but the A's were able to respond in the third when Derek Norris singled and brought in 2 runs off an error from Rangers outfielder Nelson Cruz. A homer from Johnny Gomes set up the 3-1 final and a game to decide the division that will be played tonight. The MLB playoff field is complete and only seeding could change on this last day of the season. The National League field is set with defending world champion St. Louis Cardinals securing the final spot after the LA Dodgers were eliminated. In the American League, there is a chance the wildcard teams will change position with their division leaders, as Oakland and Texas are tied and New York and Baltimore are separated by just 1 game. Adam Greenberg's baseball career seemed over after he was hit in the head by a fast bat in 2005. After a long path to recovery, Greenberg got another chance Tuesday night. Facing Mets ace R.A. Dickey, Greenberg took the first pitch and then swung away on the next 2 pitches, ending up with a strikeout. But Greenberg was all smiles and thankful to have had the opportunity.
It's going to last an eternity for me. However long it was, that's 33 more seconds than I could ever have asked for.
Wow. Those are pretty bad injuries to try to recover from. Takes a while, right,
It took
Ben?
him 7 years, and he was suffering from vertigo for a while, but he's finally overcome it and trying to make a career again.
All right, thanks, Ben. Still to come at 11 News at noon. RoboCops. The convention is trying to take policing into the future. We'll show you the new gadgets when we return. around the world are gathering to see the law enforcement of the future. The International Association of Chiefs of Police are showing off the latest gadgets to catch criminals. Officers can get in futuristic squad cars, see infrared cameras, and play with biological weapon sensors. There is even has an unnamed aircraft that allows police to follow suspects while keeping officers out of the harm's way.
That's 11 News at noon for this Wednesday, October 3rd.
You can join us anytime on our website at 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching and have a great afternoon.